Hi, welcome to part 3 of your personal growth roadmap training videos before our face-to-face event on the 21st of January. So today is all about your tone, the way you speak, and how you come across to your audience and how that impacts both your personal brand and the brand that you're working for. So have you ever wondered what you say and how you act, how you're portrayed? What do people say about you when you're not in the room? That's your personal branding. So you want people to be able to talk about you and portray you in the way that you have, the way you want them to. You want your values and how you talk, the things you say, the things that you do. You want them to be really clear, so that when you're not there, people are sharing the right message for others. And that is where your tone and what you say and the language you use is really important for personal brand. So it's really important, first of all, the power of your actions match, what you're saying. So for example, if you post and talk a lot about sustainability and that this is something that's important to you, yet you go and do the opposite, then that's going to make a massive impact on what people think of you and whether they trust you, and if they can believe any of the other parts of your personality or tone and language that you're using. Consistency is key as well. So for instance, if you're using a really professional tone and content and videos on LinkedIn, but then they go and look at your Instagram and that's something completely different, that's more informal, it's maybe contradictory to what you're saying, then that's really going to confuse people as well. So that consistency, whatever tone and language that you're using on your professional platform, really needs to be visible and across the board when you meet people on other platforms. Now, if you find that your personal branding for work and professional is slightly different to your own sort of behind the scenes things, then that's okay, but then you need to make sure that the likes of your Facebook and Instagram that might be personal are private, that they're not visible to everybody, so that if one of your business clientele on LinkedIn goes and sees your personal profile, they're not getting these conflicting views. I personally don't want all my clients knowing my personal business, so I use my business platforms for business, and then I have my Facebook and Instagram, my own personal ones, and they're private. You have to request to follow. So make sure that you're not going to be breaking or damaging your personal brand by having conflicting messages and personalities on different platforms. It's difficult to really nail down that balance between your professional and your personal brand as well. The reason we call it a personal brand rather than just you is that there's certain parts of your personality that won't be relevant to the business that you're working in, and they need to be left at the door when you come into work. So if you are a world champion at drinking shots at the weekend, completely irrelevant to potentially the legal documents that you are promoting or selling or services you're providing during the working day. So while your personality and who you are has to come through, and you shouldn't change who you are for your business, there are parts that you don't need to talk about and don't need to be visible to your business brand. So there is that potential conflict, but it's a matter of just taking out the parts that aren't relevant to business and just leaving them at home, leaving them on your personal profile. And then you want to look at how that tone and language that you use, how it merges with your business that you're working for or that you own. So for instance, if you if you have a lot of slang language, for instance, or you have a strong dialect with a lot of words from a certain area or geographical area, which we generally all do without really noticing it, that's absolutely fine. But will that fit with the brand that you're working with? It might be that you need to look at, okay, these certain words or the certain tone you use, particularly in your personal life, you need to kind of dull it down slightly, or just have a look at how it aligns with the business as well. It's important that your personal brand is you, is professional, but it also needs to not conflict with the business you're working for. And that's a little bit of working alongside your management as well, and going, okay, this is me, this is the brand that I am building, this is the personal brand that helps to sell your products and services. Can we just, see if there's parts of it that are misaligned and make sure that you bring them in so that it is aligned. So yeah, your brand isn't just what you say, it's what you do consistently. So looking at what we talked about, the understanding you, making sure that you know who your personality is, who your values are. Make sure that you take that this step further and look at how do you speak, how do you portray yourself, and are you doing it consistently? Because consistency in your tone and your language will bring trust. It'll bring people to talk about you when you're not in the room in a positive way, and it will reflect well on your company. So take the things we learn in understanding you and bring them into your tone and into your language. Make sure that now that you know exactly who your personality type is and how you work, are you ensuring to talk about that and bring that across in what you do in a consistent way to ensure that you're building trust and that you are positively reflecting on the business that you work for as well. If you want to test this, have a look through your different social media platforms if you have any. If you're on LinkedIn, is the consistency there on LinkedIn with the same tone? Do you talk about one thing one day and is a conflict the next day? Are you promoting something because you think it's right for business, but actually you don't agree on it personally? I think sometimes there are things within the businesses we work in that's maybe not something we would generally personally promote. Now, if that's not something you need to push for the business, then perhaps that's just something that you go, okay, that's not going to be the way that I promote this business or the way I work. So I'm going to concentrate on other core aspects that work and that I can talk about, so that I'm not on my personal profiles saying something that conflicts with the business. So again, it's finding that consistency and how your personality and your brand and your tone and language, how that is going to reflect in your consistency and showing up and being honest and selling the business. So hopefully that's helped. It does tie in really strongly with understanding you and making sure that your personality and the way you work and what's important to you comes across. But it's about how the language you use to do that and the tone in which you speak. So you're not, you're showing up consistent and you're always going to be there in a positive way, and people are always going to know what your values are and that you're talking about them and saying the right things and not creating conflict along the way, because that's going to benefit you and the business. So hopefully that's been helpful. We short video today, and we will see you on the 21st of January. If you have booked on for the 21st of January, you will be sent a link to all 3 of the videos that we've done. And these are the sort of pre-work and things to start thinking about to get that core personality for your brand nailed. And then on the 21st, we'll go through a whole list of different things that you can use to help become a thought leader and build your personal brand. And that can then be tailored down based on the work you've done in the lead up to it. So I'll see you on the 21st of January.